Son, where'd you find this?
Don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who acts like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico. They never lie.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range, shoot my shot with perfect aim, 3rd degree, that perfect flame, ain't no sleep, that's the game, oh so southern, that's the slang, when they see me, that's the main, chasing checks and fly like planes, big old stick, I bought a cane, flick my wrist and bought the ring, I'm so boss, we're not the same, paid the cost and kept the change, now I'm walking Hall of Fame, and I reside in the cloud, grand wishes, with these bitches, taking pictures with the crowd, and I'm out.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Peace and blessings. Good evening to you. Good evening to the people. I hope all is well. Glory, praise, and honor to the Most High, first and foremost, before anything else. Shout out to my poets, writers, content creators. Y'all know me, but I want you to introduce yourself to the good people. Glad to have you here this evening. This is going to be an interesting discussion. The floor is yours. How are you?
I am good. I just got off a very interesting phone call. One that, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. The Lord's been talking to me lately, and this tracks with what he's been telling me. So we'll see if it all falls into place. How have you been today? By the way, I'm Randy, for those of you who don't know me.
Right on. I'm blessed. I will not complain about a single thing. I'm above ground. I'm doing what I enjoy doing, and I'm grateful for that. So we're here.
That's all we can ask, right?
Right on. For those of you who are not familiar or you don't really know where we're going with this, look at the title. I got a clip I want to play for y'all. This gentleman, man, he got his bars off. He was really talking. Then hopefully this conversation and this message reaches who it needs to. I couldn't have had this conversation with a more fitting person. So I'm gonna bring it up on the big screen. I'm gonna let him talk, and we're gonna get into it.
Playing this game, man. Just say who it is that messed you up and who negatively affected your life, because some of our sisters have thick trauma and they are problems at times because of their trauma that they are being controlled by. Some of our brothers are messed up because of their trauma at times, and their trauma at times controls them above their logic. So they are messed up out here, becoming devils, both black men and black women at times, some of our people. So stop with all this all day because you victims of the same damn system. You are. We were together in the 60s and prior to that. Loved each other. We knew who the real enemy was. Marriage was promoted. Even in slavery, we was getting married, hopping over that broom. And we're happy to do it because we knew that family is what builds a nation. Now, you letting somebody convince you not to be with a black man, not to be with a man at all, and encourage your child to call themselves whatever they want to call themselves because they feel a certain way. So now they go based off of their feelings. They call themselves gender fluid. And the government said, hey, we can help you chop off your penis. So what are you following really? Be honest about the condition that you're in. Confront it, look at it, be willing to heal yourself. Get in the mirror, face your trauma, help yourself. Work it out internally first before y'all get out here and trauma dump all over the damn internet and you spewing and throwing up and defecating on everybody because you don't want to handle yourself in your own life. Don't sit here and infect the rest of these children. My biggest deal now is we have a whole generation coming up behind us, and I'll be damned if they listen to you because you're so damn irresponsible and selfish that you condition them to now hating their own people and themselves. This generation, I pray, comes after every single one of the people who push this in a way where they say, I don't like you, you don't why. I'm like this. You wrong for that. Because no other nation of people does that to their own people. Chinese don't be out here generalizing their people. The Russians don't do it. The Indians don't do it. Nobody else does that. Y'all need to stop messing with these black men and get you a white zaddy. Shut up, sister. Stop it. Just name the brothers who abused you and go confront that. Go get therapy that doesn't drug you, non-drug therapy. Please confront your demons, go through it so that a black man can really love you because there is a black man that really loves you. But your damn demons is preventing him from having access and vice versa, brother. Confront the trauma that your mama gave you and confront the trauma that your auntie gave you. I've received some trauma from some females of my family. Don't get it twisted. Black women. But I know what that does. I know what that is. That's trauma. And I'm not going to put that on all of my sisters. I love the black woman. Nobody will change my mind. Nobody. I love the black man as my brother platonically, heterosexually. Like, let's stop.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm not gonna go too deep yet. I want to preface my talking points throughout this entire stream is not going to be specific to one race or culture. For me, this to me speaks to everybody. So I just want to get that out there right now. I hear what he said. I agree with what he said, but I want to add and peel back more layers. I want you to go ahead and start us off with your initial thoughts on this. What you've been meditating on, any feelings you want to get off. The floor is yours.
So I'm so glad that you just said that because my initial thought process was, okay, this is going to be interesting coming from a white girl because, you know, obviously this topic is primarily geared towards, you know, Black people and the situation being what it is. And so I was thinking to myself, you know, this happens for everybody. Like, can we just take the black out of it? Can we just take the color out of it? Because for me, it and I know that this isn't going to be like received well by everybody, but for me, I think that we have to just look at it from person to person perspective because the message behind what he's actually saying is true to all people. I don't think that it should be necessarily geared towards a race, but instead we should just look at it as a collective whole because the reality of it is if you're dumping your trauma onto other people, you're not going to love other people properly and you're not going to learn how to receive love properly. And I truly do believe that because I've been there. And at this stage in my life, I am trying to course correct at 35, perhaps a way that I dealt with my own trauma being in therapy and how I can work on those things so that for the next relationship that I do get into, I won't be bringing that baggage into it.
We love to put the blame on everybody for our own faults, our own decisions, our own choices. when you go out here and you do these solo missions, you take the bottle, you uncork it, and you chug that fifth of whatever it is down your throat. I don't recall seeing anybody forcing you to do it.
No, we all have choices, and I think that this time period of my life, getting sober and remaining sober and going through a breakup and starting a business and building my relationship with the Lord, it's really shown me a lot, and it's really made me have to take a good hard look at myself and the choices that I've made and take accountability for my part in it, because although perhaps I didn't do certain things to that person that were as whatever, I allowed it, and I chose to be with a person that was, like you said, I uncorked the bottle and I drank it. So, in life, we all have choices. And I think accountability goes a long way. And sometimes it takes really uncomfortable situations in order to have to look at those things and really take ownership and realize that perhaps you have some things that you need to not only take ownership for, but change and figure out if you are willing to change, to be honest with you, because a lot of people aren't.
I want to be clear. When I said what I said, I wasn't speaking to you directly. It was a metaphor.
Well, the metaphor was very true and tried to my life, so
I just
back on it.
I just want to make sure, like, when I speak on certain things, I use parables to kind of express what I'm talking about, and sometimes,
hey, your parable was a line, so what can you do?
yeah, sometimes people don't really understand it. We hear what we want to hear, and then we take it and turn it into something that it was never meant to be. So my whole approach to this is like, well, how did we get here in the first place? Right? Why are people so bitter? Why do we question everything? If anything is legit, solid, if anybody's foundation is built correctly, why are we so paranoid about every single person that is around us? And honestly, we know what's going on, but again, you're in denial, or you're practicing escapism by all means necessary through various apps and devices to kind of ignore the fact that you got some stuff that you need to be addressing immediately. Because even if you avoid and dodge it, what happens is, if I put a brand new blade or knife in your hand, you never sharpen it, but you're constantly using it. You just keep on chopping that stuff, cutting that stuff. Eventually, that blade is going to get dull, and then there's not going to be much power behind it anymore. So we wear ourselves down through various vices. We don't get the proper help, assistance. Time progresses. All of these different factors that attach themselves to our life wear us down to the point to where we don't even know what we are really doing anymore. So,
I mean, like I said, you didn't know that this was so true to me, but this couldn't be truer for the chapter of life that I'm in. I feel like I am a track star. I have been running my whole life. I've been running from what my purpose was. I've been running from the trauma. I've been running from the things that maybe I didn't want to address in my life. And I think that oftentimes, more than not, we're all track stars in our own right, and easily influenced by society and social media and just people and things around us. And I think that throughout this process, I've had to learn to figure out who I am and try to not do that anymore. So this is just so funny that this is the topic of conversation.
You know, there's a source for every single issue we have. I think people know that,
Mm-hmm.
but like people want to pretend like they don't know it. Like, come on, man. All this stuff started from somewhere. You weren't born this way. It was taught to you.
Yeah.
Stuff, you know, like, come on, man. Just like your parents feed you and they put Similac or whatever it is in your milk and give you the bottle. It's the same thing. We all got programmed in different ways. Our environments, television, so on and so forth, all played a role in how we ended up in the places that we are now. But the fact that people don't really be sitting down long enough to think, dang, look at this. Look at the ruins. Look at the damage, the spiritual destruction that is all around. What have I done? What have we done? We did this. We are responsible for this. Nobody really wants to say that, and it's sad, especially when you claim to be an adult and mature and enlightened, but you can't sit back and reflect on the fact that there's no tribes anymore. There's no council. There's no accountability. Everybody's offended easily. Everybody wants to censor. But you want to complain. You would rather complain, and point the finger at everybody instead of addressing the root.
Well, because we're all track stars in our own right. Like I said, we want to be able to get the sympathy and empathy that we want that suits us for the time period in which it does. And myself included, I'm including myself in this, by the way. Been there, done that. I've been a victim in my life to myself and my choices many a times. But the reality of it is I wouldn't have been in those situations had I opened my eyes and had a little bit more self-awareness and connection with myself, and truthfully, God's Holy Spirit guiding me in the right direction, because I had these blue light glasses on, but they were rose colored to be able to have me see things the way I chose and wanted to see them that suited my life and narrative. And I think oftentimes that's more the issue in life than not, to be honest with you, because and I feel like we circle back to this every single time that we talk. And it's always true. You got to be right with yourself before you have like the capacity to see others and other situations and things in a way that's actually beneficial for you, like spiritually, mentally, physically, because we live in a society that's just so skewed.
Extremely. All it takes is a post notification or something going on in politics, or maybe your favorite fleshly appetite to distract you and call your attention to the front office. And just like that, we all for the topic at hand. I am definitely a part of the issue. I have my vices. I can't sit here and say, well, look, we, and I don't include me in it, right? Because one of the reasons I want to have these type of conversations is specifically so we get a different reality highlighted on the internet that doesn't revolve around body shaming and saying, well, if the black man did this and the black woman did this, and if this didn't, okay, well, how about if we as a collective stopped looking to our left and our right, pretended like we didn't see what was going on, and put the light on all of the negatives that's surrounding us. That way we could kind of mitigate a lot of our issues, then we would be better off. Meaning you don't support trash, toxic discussions. You don't repost and share tweets and messages that do nothing but demonstrate that there's a level of anger and hatred that is being circulated way more than it should be. Like you're literally giving air to the demonic spirits within the text that is being uploaded, or the videos, or whatever it is. You are giving life to it and feeding it more and more. So it's like it's so many different little pieces to this.
I mean, you're correct. There are so many different pieces to it, but honestly, it all boils down to knowing yourself and knowing your values and your morals and your compass that guides you. And we all have a choice as to what compass that is and which direction that is. And unfortunately, our generations are being geared towards promiscuous things and gluttony for money and fame and things that don't necessarily even at the true essence of who we are as a people. Shouldn't be, that's not what like our identity should be based around, to be honest with you, is my opinion. And I've always kind of gone against the grains of that because I think I'm an unpopular opinion in many rooms in which I stand in. And I'm okay with that because I would rather remain true to who I am and my morals and values than to go with the grain and masses, to be honest with you. But that's just my personal take for myself. I can only speak for myself.
Well, you kind of see where going with the flow has gotten everybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just don't really know how. I don't know how we're going to course correct this one, to be honest with you, because I have this conversation almost daily with my own son. You have to be the wolf. You can't be the sheep. You have to be the one who's different. You cannot be like, you're set apart, and you have to know that, and you have to stand in that, because the reality is, as a natural born leader, you have a responsibility to not do and be and act as other children do. And had I claimed that earlier on in my life in a positive way, I think my life would have turned out a little bit different, but that was my journey and that was God's plan for my life. So I think I struggle with, what do we do now? How do we help the next generations if this is the way that life is and this is the way that everyone seems so accepting of it?
It starts with us. It starts with this right here. You can't convince an entire planet that the world is coming to an end when they live in their own. You can only start with you and your inner circle, and then maybe within that circle you can kind of plant the seed in somebody else's head. But they've designed and set this up so well, extent that people would rather fight about what is right and wrong than actually say, look, man, we're really here for the same reason. I think
Listen,
most
why
I
isn't
think
2010 stoofing this, man? They understand it.
yeah, you go to work for one reason, to get paid. Okay. Well, I want my neighborhood to be safe. I want it to be healthier. Don't you?
100%.
Or does it, or like, does it not matter? So it's like, y'all have to stop acting as if you are not a part of a bigger issue. Just not, it's like you saying you didn't see something when you saw it is just as bad as not speaking up against the bully, or speaking up against what's going on the job site, or what's going on in the government. At some point, you have to be the wolf. Like you said, you have to be the wolf. We got to stop trying to please everybody and fit in with everybody, because everybody is not right. Folks are walking around bumping into walls, stubbing their toes, walking off cliffs, and we just allow them. We just keep letting them do it.
Also, you can only lead a horse to water, and that is true in many facets of life. But at the same time, like, I don't want to join in on I don't want to join in on the whole narrative that is needing to have the most likes, needing to find the richest husband, needing to use my good looks to get what I want, needing to manipulate and lie and just be selfish. Like, people are just so selfish, and that's the reality of it. And I think that that selfishness comes from just the worldly things that people desire. So I'm trying to make my changes within myself to start with, because I can't sit here and talk about the things that, I wouldn't be able to sit here comfortably a few months ago and say the things that I'm saying if I haven't spent now months putting in the work to change those things about myself, in terms of knowing my worth and taking accountability and being able to actually be a light for others with my actions, not just my words. So I'm starting at home, just like you said.
And Stoof, just to kind of combine your thoughts with hers and just bring it all back full circle. There was a live stream that I did a few weeks ago. It was that one stuck with me so much, because it was a creed, a Mason creed, and it talked about this very thing. Their goal and their mission was to destroy everything that had God in it. It was designed specifically to desensitize, debilitate, and eradicate the nuclear home, turn this entire planet into Sodom and Gomorrah, while also posturing to a group of men and women who would eventually choose their lust and their heart's desire over the word of God and anything that involved having structure and stability. The creed, that clip was so powerful that even to this day it sits in my mind so prevalent that I had to go back and bring it up again, because these are humans. These are not aliens. These are us. These are people who come into a wealth that will never be duplicated ever again, but by the design that created it, it was all for the blood, sweat, tears, and mental and spiritual destabilization of the rest of us. And we really don't understand that we are all a part of this piece, this board game. We're all pawns of it. So when you are hating man or you're hating women, you weren't born to hate them. You were taught. You were groomed to hate the man and to hate the woman.
Wow. This is not the direction I thought this one was going to go in, but I'm glad that it did. Because I feel like every time I sit on this panel, it makes me think about life that much more, where I wonder like where I'm at, and it tells me I'm in the right place every time. Because the reality of it is, we live in a fallen world. It's only going to get worse and worse. And people just, hey, oh man, I don't know. They gotta figure out themselves, to be honest with you, because the reality of it is, I don't see things getting better if we all don't make different choices and stop following the masses and I'm not saying religion necessarily, because there are religions that control in negative ways. So political things as well. There's just a lot of outside factors that have way too much of an effect on just us as people. And I feel like if we bring it down to the roots of what it should be, which are the foundations of, God's plan originally, I think things would look a lot different. And I'm not one to shove, religion down people's throats, because, you're going to do your thing. But I will speak my truth, because I believe that God has a lot to do with just helping course correct, I'll say, certain decision makings that I personally have had in my life. So had I not had that experience at different points in time in my life, I wouldn't be able to use that as a point of reference. And I think foundationally, if I don't have that in my life, I would feel very lost. So
what can you really do when you're on a hamster wheel and you're comfortable? Because it's just going to keep going in one direction. So I guess if you're comfortable and you okay with being stuck there, because you feel like, well, there's no real harm in knowing that this is what I get, versus stepping out of that and exploring other avenues of existence that might pose a more beautiful critique of your own calling over your life. But in order for you to do that, you got to go into the basement.
It all starts with the groundwork, the foundation that we always come back to in every conversation, I feel like. And it just is what it is. And I don't mean for it to always do that. It just naturally does, it seems. And for me, it couldn't ring more true. I mean, listen, I don't envy the followers. I don't envy the tons of money. I don't envy the wanting to be lusted all the time. I honestly want nothing to do with it. Like, I want to have a purpose in this life. And I feel like my purpose is leaving a legacy behind that's worth something at the core of who I am and the child that I raise. So I just feel like I constantly keep thinking about that every time that we step into these conversations, because it just reminds me that I have to keep doing the work on myself so that I can keep being an example.
And I can relate, and I understand, and I respect it. And actually, We need the people right now to understand what's happening right now. What you are seeing is course correction in its own unique divine order, a conversation that you probably would have never been a part of if things didn't go the way that they did in our individual lives off this camera. Who would have thought me and her would be sitting here?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I prayed, and this is how I know that, there is something bigger at hand than I'm even aware of in this life, because I prayed for people like you to come into my life. I prayed for God to bring the right people, opportunities, and doors to open that would actually have me have the ability to walk through them, to connect with the people that I am meant to connect with. And that definitely wouldn't have happened if I stayed in the relationship that I was in and I continued down the path in which I did. And the reality of it is, was it painful? Is it still painful? 100%. Is every part of my life at this point comfortable? And do I want to be here? Not always. Do I like being in the position that I'm in? But you want to know what? God had a plan for my life. And as long as I keep putting my eyes on him, he'll continue to open the doors and he'll continue to bring me to the right people.
Start with us. Start with that discipline.
It's discipline for sure.
You can lie to me. You can lie to the chat. You can lie to your coworkers. You can lie to your bill collectors. You can't lie to yourself. Because guess what? Every time we sweep something under the rug or we don't address it properly, it's going to manifest itself. When a plant is growing and one of the leaves begin to turn yellow, why is that happening? You have to prune the plant. If you don't,
before it rots everything else.
Exactly. So it's no different than us. The way you think about yourself, the way you think about other people, what you harbor in your heart. I don't care what you say out your mouth. It's what's in your heart that's going to show me what's really happening. And that's what the world is in right now. Every time I see somebody talk about these dating things and they give their perspectives and thoughts, I often wonder, are you grifting? Are you pandering to an audience? Or are you really trying to help the audience? Like, where do you stand? Where's your true position? A lot of adults that have the responsibility, they don't honor it. They don't respect it. They don't nourish it. Don't cultivate it. They don't advocate behind it properly. They don't water it. They do everything in their power to abuse it because of monetary gain. I don't care about that. It's nice and all, but it's not going to do me no good when the judgment seat is in my face and I'm being shown everybody that has been affected by something that I said, and it caused them to stray or turn to something that was going to set them up for failure. I don't want that blood on my hands.
I think sometimes we're also just ignorant. Like, people don't even think that far ahead. I think they just act in the moment and they just do what they want to do, and they don't really care about the repercussions of things. Or like in my case, it's not that I didn't care. It's that I wanted something so bad that I was willing to negate all the signs that were in front of me. I was willing to believe that, if I pray hard enough and I work hard enough, you'll give me the desires of my heart, Lord. And instead, I couldn't read the signs on the wall for the longest time because I wanted it so bad, and I was blinding myself with my own desires. So I think sometimes you just need to take the glasses off and you have to really dig deep and you have to look at things and learn from them. And what you do with that after the fact is really the true test and the true testament of who you are, at the essence of who you are. Because I could take this situation that I've lived through and let it break me and go in the other direction, eat up men and spit them out like once upon a time perhaps I would have done. But at this point, God knew that it was time for the shift and the change in my life. And when the next person comes into my life, I'll be ready for them, and I'll know how to honor them and love them and build a foundation that will actually be of value and truly be what my heart's desire was all along. So it all comes full circle in a way.
There's a beauty to self-discovery, true self-discovery. Not the fake plastered Hollywood. Oh, oh, 40 days and 40 nights of crying and ice cream, and now I'm finally free. And then you get the music and all the beautiful little text messages floating around.
Oh no, it's ugly.
It's ugly.
It's ugly. It's painful. It's 2 a.m. crying yourself to sleep. It's not wanting to go to the therapist and feeling like a hot mess. It's not eating and sleeping properly. It's all the things. But you want to know what? For the first time in my life, I am facing things so incredibly head on being sober that I know that I will come out of this better. I know that I will.
Somebody had said this the other day, and I thought it was interesting, and I want to bring this to y'all attention. There are different levels to having a sober mind, right? And I was like, hold on, what are you talking about? I thought you just like being high and on pills and drinking this. That's what I think about when you say sober. No. When it says be of sober mind, that also includes having a calm thinking process. You don't have a bunch of different voices in your head disturbing your flow patterns. You don't have the storm constantly just coming down on your entire day. The demons talking in your ear, angels talking in your ear. You got all this traffic going on and you don't know how to regulate. You don't have no real, if you don't have peace in mind, you aren't of a sober mind. I was like, whoa, hold up. That make a lot of sense. You don't necessarily have to be under the influence to still be controlled or ruled by a substance to address.
I mean, that's true. I will give it to you. That's true, because there were times where I definitely let it still control, even after getting sober from the drink or the whatever it was, like. But that's also a spiritual thing, and that takes time as well. So, I'm working through my demons, just like anybody else. But I'll tell you what, not drinking has really given me a clarity that I probably never had before. And not to say that I had a problem or anything, but like when you really remove yourself from certain things that skew your perception of other things, boy, does it open your eyes.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Matter of fact, I can't say I'm sure it does. I know it does. I used to drink and smoke. And I just had a conversation earlier about what smoking and drinking did to me. I saw demons when I was drinking and smoking. I could never go back to it. That's my testimony. I will never try to convince anybody of what I saw or what I experienced. But I've been there. I've seen them. Once you see a demon, you can't unsee it. You will never forget the face at all.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, you don't want you don't want that experience at all.
No, thank you. I'm good. I've faced enough demons that are not real that I'm good. I'm good on that.
To go over there to what Stoof was saying about infatuation and these other different things. I hate social media sometimes. I know it's positive in some areas. There's good use for this, but I have a dislike for people who celebrate ignorance but have a disdain towards severity, clarity, because it's like you see people making all of this leeway off of sex, power, control, manipulation, and everybody is following suit behind it. But I'm still old school. I still believe in properly getting to know people and learning who they are. And your body is your temple, and you're not supposed to be just out here giving your spiritual energy away to everybody. And it's like y'all don't see what's happening, the number of diseases that's being spread, the violence, the domestic violence, like all of these different things come from what? The horrible advice that's been given to us through our parents, through our friend groups, through these social circles. All of it is trash, brain rot. That's why, like, I would rather talk about the subjects that nobody wants to in my own way than listen to somebody else, because I don't trust nobody to really handle it unbiasedly. I think everybody is overly, either you're experienced or you're overly pouring it on thick to convince people that you know what. I don't know.
I don't feel the need to convince anybody of anything, to be honest with you. And I almost like tread at this, I'm like tread on, I err on the side of caution to not make it seem as though I do. I can only speak from my own personal experience. And if that sits with somebody somewhere out there that they can understand what I'm saying, then you know what? Great. If not, keep it pushing. That's all right. We're good.
Bro said, don't take out your anger on the next man or the next woman. Address the issue. Address what is actually the cause of why you hate or have such a issue with this particular group of people. And I agree. I've had bad experiences. We've all had bad experiences. Does that put the blame on every single person you come across? No. Y'all got to stop doing that.
I'm living that in real time, and that's why I told myself I'm going to keep going to therapy, and I'm going to work on myself, because I refuse to enter another relationship and drag all those years into this relationship with me. And that's a personal choice for me, because I don't want to do that. So I agree with that.
It's not a basis of discussion. You don't have to apologize at all.
Oh yeah, no. It just happens to ring true for my life.
No, I'm speaking to the chat.
No, I know, me too.
Yeah. You be free to be you, man. We all battle stuff. I'm still battling stuff right now to this day. So don't get it twisted. It's not that
I'm not sitting here and saying I'll be sober forever. I mean, I don't know what the future holds, but I also know that I don't want to use it as a coping mechanism like I once did in my life.
Exactly.
So, and the fact that I've been basically forced to be sober really has required me to have to face things head on that perhaps I wouldn't have done before. And that's a blessing. So I go into the thought process of drinking or not drinking in a very different capacity than I once did. And I think often that's a thing in our society too. We're running track stars over here, whether it's with drink, sex, drugs, social media, money. We all should have gold medals, truthfully.
I mean, ask yourself this question. What's the point of making everybody hate the opposite gender? What's the point of the war and the debates, the consistent debates? I'm not getting married. No, you're not taking all my money. You're not going to get bored with me and then leave me when you find somebody else that you want. No, you're not. What was the purpose of any of that? All of it is designed. All of it.
It's not what it was meant to be originally. That's the thing. That's the reality here, and that circles back to like a lot of biblical stuff. Marriage, what it once was supposed to actually signify, no longer signifies that. And that's truly my thing with marriage, is like, that's why I didn't get married. I didn't want to get married not having it represent what I felt the foundation should look like. And I think not enough people take that into consideration. And I mean, I think that history has shown us that there are repercussions for that as well. So ultimately, I think it's something to consider when you honestly want to get married. Like, what does that look like for you? What is the foundation and basis of your relationship? Is it based on God? Because it really should be. But, you know, again, I'm not forcing my thoughts down anyone's throat, but why do we think that there's so many divorce rates?
Whether or not you believe in God or not, if you don't have structure, you failed anyway. You're it's like it's inevitable. It's a repetition that has been exhausted so much. Just even saying it makes me fatigued because you see examples of it. And I post so much, and it's like even me seeing it on other outlets, it's like you see it every day and people still don't get it. What's the common denominator? You, me. We are the common denominators to all our problems. You don't see nothing wrong with it.
Well, because in one way or another, like, we may not be the problem, but we're contributing to the problem. We're allowing things, we're ignoring things, we're running from things, and to circle back once again, yet another week. It all starts from within. It all starts with us. And if we can get right with ourselves and we can get on the same page with like actually who we are, and I'm still learning to do that. So like, I'm not speaking like I know everything, because I definitely don't know everything at all. This is a journey for me as well in real time. But I am learning that it starts with me. And if I don't love myself and I don't love the woman that I'm becoming in this life and want to be, then how in the heck am I supposed to love somebody else?
There is no future when you still love your past. How do you love your past more than the promise of your future? Are you that scared of the future, the unknowing, that you would rather be comfortable with something that you're familiar with, even if it's at the cost of hurting you over and over and over again? The reason why marriages fail and relationships fail is because people do not know how to be in the roles that were meant for them to be in when it comes to being in sync with another human being. Don't know how to be friends, don't know how to be coworkers, don't know how to be lovers, don't know how to be, you don't even know how to love yourself. So it's like, if you can't even be with yourself, you definitely can't be with nobody else. Because that's the being with yourself is going to be the biggest fight of your life until the day you go. And if you can't do that, you definitely don't need to be around nobody.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Bang, 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 bang.
It's crazy, man. Just
I mean, I get it because people like throughout this process, so many people are like, why don't you want to date? Why don't you want to like, you got to get over somebody, get under some. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm working on me. I'm trying to fix this, and fix this so that I can come correct. Like, I'm not interested in another soul tie in my life and the spiritual nonsense that comes with that. I am not interested. And believe me, I could use my good looks to get in a better financial position, a better social position, a better many positions. I don't want to do that. I want to literally work on myself and become the woman that God intended for me to be so that I can just be better for myself, better for my son, and better for the people around me. So it's so funny that this is all the topic of conversation, that it would ring so incredibly true to my life in real time.
whether or not people want to believe it or not. I had this conversation earlier. I love how stuff just kind of falls into place. Brings it
And it
back.
always does. It's so funny. It's like, I feel like with you and I specifically, these last couple times, it's just been like, oh, well, this just flows naturally. Like, this is just a natural progression of what like I'm learning and doing in my life and what you've been through already, or what you're also still navigating through. So it's just interesting how it all falls into place.
It doesn't. It don't. An unhealed person, your actions and your behavior patterns will always snitch on you before you do. Let that one marinate for a second. Your being sneaky, being nefarious, using your power and your influence and your wit and your beauty and your wealth to get ahead. That's deceptive. Yeah, people like. I know that's why I love doing what I do over here, because I can say whatever the hell I want. Y'all don't like the truth. Y'all be around too many yes men. I'm gonna tell you, you being manipulative, lying to get what you want out of people, playing with people's emotions, knowing you don't really like them, using the system, using this, using that to get your way. You will never ever have anything solid. It will always be temporal, and it's always going to come back to bite you in the butt because of how you got it.
Well, unfortunately, those are just lessons that these people will have to learn on their own, or not. The choice is theirs, and that's also the thing. Like, you get to choose for yourself. I choose not to do that. I choose not to be that person. I don't want that. I don't want that spirit in my life. I don't want those spirits in my life. So all we can do is just do what we do and keep doing it. And hopefully it attracts the right people.
It is definitely not my responsibility to make you happy. You have to know how to. You have to be so centered within yourself that whether or not you are with someone or not with them, you are still content.
Didn't we have this conversation when we first met?
I believe we did.
Yeah, I believe we did. I said I want to love myself so much that I'm the main course. And if I happen to have an appetizer or a dessert, then great, because I could live with just being the main course with myself and being satisfied with being alone and loving who I am. And if God brings someone else into my life, then wonderful. If not, then I want to like who looks back at me in the mirror, who I'm stuck with. I want to like that girl. And for a long time, I didn't really like her. But I'm at a place in my life where I'm getting to a place where I not only like her, I love her. And I want to continue to do that. And I encourage other people to also do that. Love yourself. because you deserve to be loved, but you also deserve to give love. And we need to work more on that.
Yo, people have such a misunderstanding of what dating and vetting is.
You don't deserve love. That's absolutely untrue.
Everybody deserves it.
Everybody deserves love. That is
It's
absolutely whoever told you that lie, you need to tell that voice to shut the F up. Because truthfully, that's the biggest lie, that we're somehow convinced through our trauma. You don't want it? Okay, if you don't want it, that's one thing, but you deserve it. Everyone deserves love.
here's the problem with that, right?
I just have to give me one second.
You got it. If you've been in a situation where you've had a number of bad experiences with other human beings and you don't know what it's like to have anything that is good out of another person outside of yourself, it's very easy to say that everybody is bad. But that's not really true. Because I used to do it. I used to be very guilty with it. Dealing with people who use you for your time, for your resources, for your conversations. They don't never pour back into you. All they do is take from you. So you start to think everybody is just there to take from you and take from you. It's not true. You got family and you got friends that love you unconditionally. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even be dependent on somebody else to love you in the ways that you should love yourself. Everybody not out here trying to abuse and use people. That's just a misconception that has been put out here. Social media don't really highlight and show you all the good that's out here. That don't mean it don't exist. And I'm pretty sure you've had some good experiences with people that weren't all bad. I understand where you coming from though. And at one point I was like, man, screw the world, screw everybody. But I know everybody I know everybody ain't like that. I know, because there's folks that put GoFundMe's together for folks that are on their deathbed. I've seen folks come together and help people who are innocent get out of jail. I've seen folks demonstrate unity when kids were being abused. Like, there are good people out here. It's just you have to be in a place where you have to accept the fact that everybody is not going to be like you. You have to be the example that you want out of other people. And
you have to learn how to be indifferent. Like, you have to learn how to just be like, oh, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. They're not my cup of tea either. And just respectfully decline and keep it pushing. Because I used to live my life very much so like everybody, because I got screwed over so many times by friends, by family, by bosses, by relationships that I poured my whole life into. And the reality of it is, if I didn't change my mindset of saying not everybody is against me, I'll keep my eyes open for sure, I wouldn't have met this gentleman right here. I wouldn't have been open to this. I wouldn't have been open to making new friends and new acquaintances and new endeavors. I wouldn't have been open to that. So I feel like you kind of have to, it all starts up here, but I'm not going to tell you what to do, sir. But for me, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't change that perspective, because not everyone is against me. It's just, they're just not for me, and there's no room at my table.
What you have to do? Well, I ain't gonna tell you what to do. What I did, I went through a season. My season removed everybody away from me. I don't have a friend group. I don't. I have this, a dot. People who say they love me and say they my friends, they not. These are people that I wouldn't miss if I never spoke to them again. It's like I done went through so much with you. I see you for who you are. I know what this is. I know the difference between someone who is practicing reciprocity and someone who looks at me like I'm an emotional bank teller. Once you are in that season, once you are alone on that island and you faced and forced to deal with yourself, you learn so much about you would have never learned when you had all of these bad influences around you. You got to cleanse. You got to spiritually cleanse. You got to mentally cleanse. You have to get rid of everything and everything that you thought you knew. Just get rid of it. Because
it's a rewiring of your brain. That's literally what I feel like I'm doing right now. Every single day, I'm rewiring my brain from the trauma, from the way I used to view life, from the way that I used to view myself, like every single day. And I'm not saying like it's so great every day. It's not so great every day, but it's real. And you're only going to be able to change that perspective and accept people, meet people where they are. Also, like you have to just accept people for who they are. And some people are just pieces of garbage. That doesn't have to affect who you want to be. That doesn't have to affect who you choose to be. That's on them.
Yeah. People will demonize anything that is not in their favor. It could be good or bad. Like I just got to the point where everybody not gonna agree with what I'm saying. I had three people on the last couple of my reaction videos disagree with me, and they were they weren't ignorant, but they were kind of like loose-lipped. I don't take offense to it. Everybody's not going to agree with you. Everybody's not going to like you, and everybody's not going to be kind and nice. People are going through different things in this world. We can only control how we move. We can only control how we articulate, how we communicate. If you want things to be done a certain way, you're going to have to do it yourself. You can't wait on nobody else. When I get up, I turn this laptop on, I got to do it. I can't wait on somebody else to do it for me. I got to show up. I got to be transparent. I got to be honest. I got to have the anointing on me. I got to be prepared. I have to be vulnerable. I have to do this with one person in here or 20 or 30 people in here. Regardless, there's a mission. There's a goal. There are people that are hurting, broken, miserable, bitter, sick, confused. They think they know what they know. They really don't know nothing. I have to be in my proper order in order for me to get messages out there so that the right person can see it, hear it, and understand it, because God put us here for a reason. That's just my opinion. I'm here for a reason.
Me too. Me too. And I feel like, again, I was a track star for so long and I was running from it. And Black Loki, I'm going to pray for you, because truthfully, I don't love the way that you're talking about yourself or about life, because that's not great. That's not a great energy that you're exuding right now. And I'm just going to pray for you, because you deserve to find happiness in whatever that looks like, whatever capacity that looks like. Is life going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But, I'm going to pray for you. You'll be on my heart tonight.
Definitely. That's what we need more of. More fellowship. And we've done this to ourselves. The reason why relationships are in the conditions that they're in, because nobody is standing in the gap to tear down these walls that are being built to keep us apart. We're supposed to be community. We're supposed to be in relationships and things of that nature. We're not supposed to be drifting off in utter darkness and in different little. That's not, no. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, marriage is only slavery to people who disrespect the true sanctity and meaning of it. Like, if you don't know what marriage is about, you're not going to ever respect it anyway. If it's just a novelty toy for you, you're never going to honor it. If you have no desire for a real relationship, you're never going to do nothing right with it. People who are playing games and they're just in these situations just to be in them for recreational purposes, for entertainment purposes, for financial gain, and et cetera, status, clout, all that. You're the problem. You're the reason why everybody is looking at it like that.
That's not the way that it's supposed to be. Like, that's not the way that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be honoring each other. It's supposed to be being a team. It's supposed to be building each other up. It's supposed to be someone makes you want to be better and helps you be better. And if that's not what you have, then I'll pray for you, because I needed someone to pray me out of it too. And I hope that you find it, because I hope that I find it, because we all deserve it. And if we can be real and true and transparent about the desires that we have for the foundation that we lay in these relationships, then perhaps we will have a better chance at not being a part of the divorce statistic. Because oftentimes people also give up way too easy and don't fight for things, because the grass is always greener until it's not.
My final thoughts. Once you realize that we are in a system that is not controlled by us, but ran by us, the way you view certain things it's going to change drastically. We're literally in a matrix.
One second, my son. Sorry.
Well, I see it for what it is. I don't look at things the way I used to. When I see certain posts and certain discussions, I automatically go to, what is this really for? Are you a plant? Are you here to piss us off? Are you here to make people argue in the comment section?
I don't even like to look at that stuff. I don't even want to fill my brain with any more of that poison. And that's why I don't do politics, to be perfectly honest with you. So I feel like it's all just stuff to poison us and our brains even more. And I don't want to subscribe to that. So that's just my personal choice.
I'm with you. Yeah, we are cattle. I'm like, as far as them higher ups, all they care about is getting the work done and keeping their pockets fat. Period. And if that means making you angry and dosing you up with fatty foods and telling you that women ain't this and men ain't that, so that you stay alone and you work 20 jobs, or like
No, that's not what God wanted. Sorry. I'm going to respectfully decline. That's my new motto.
yeah, yeah. Hey man, I don't know about you, but I felt like this needed to be done.
You came right on time, my friend. And just when I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm not sharing enough about how I really feel about things. You just bring a little bit more out of me each time. And that wouldn't have happened, Mr. Black Loki 9, if I hadn't been open to meeting new people in life. Not everyone's against me.
Nah, it ain't like that. I know.
By Voicey.network.
I don't know where that came from. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Dang it.
All right.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Everybody ain't out here trying to destroy and tear down, but it would be nice all together and start to look at the problems and kind of course correct. That's the word for the night. Course correct. We were supposed to actually, it's funny, we were supposed to do a live stream on course correction. I'm gonna still have to spin back on that, maybe next week.
Listen, I mean, God knew what he was doing when he put you and I together. And it didn't have anything to do with color. So
yeah, that's a fact. You can pretty much get what you need out of any situation if you got the eye and the ear for it.
And the openness. It's about being open. It's about laying your pride down and being open. Because the reality of it is sometimes the messages that we actually need to hear are not the ones that we want to hear. But if you have the openness and the heart and the mind that's willing to listen, you can learn from everybody around you in one way or another.
That's a fact. An entire fact. Oh man, this won't be the last time we speak on something like this. But I'm glad we did it this evening. Shout outs again to the people that pulled up this evening. Shout out to you, Randy. I'm glad you can make it. We're gonna close this year out strong. I can feel it. I sense it. As time progresses and we continue on doing this, I can see it clear as day. People are waking up, tired of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's dialogues like this that create that pathway. So to Black and to the other brother that was in here, I want to say I appreciate y'all sharing your thoughts, being open. You know, you don't have to do that, but because you did it, it made this conversation open up more doorways. It made us more content with what we're doing up here. And
I hope it helped a little bit. I hope it made you feel a little less lonely, because I think that is really, I think that's the goal here, is to connect with people more and to make things feel less divisive in life.
What she said. But yeah, we about to get up out of here. Y'all tap tomorrow morning for the morning episode. That's gonna be a goodie. Shout out to Nat. Shout out to Brandon. You ain't get a chance to meet Nat or Brandon. Brandon is going to be joining us on Mondays and Wednesday mornings. Nat is a Wednesday morning guy.
Okay.
Hopefully one day I'll be able to get everybody together.
Hey,
to
listen, I'm hoping too, because I'd rather be doing this than doing what I'm doing tomorrow.
I got you covered.
You know, you gotta feed mouths.
Right. But yeah, we about to get up out of here, man. Y'all have a blessed night. Drive safe if you gotta be on the road. Do me a solid before y'all go, if you don't mind.
Push the goddamn button.
Peace.
Good night.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. 3rd degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change. Now I'm walking Hall of Fame. And I reside in the cloud. Grand wishes with these bitches, taking pictures.